Millions of people watching, the exact same replay, the most obvious offside you will ever see in your life. The entire stadium knows it, the commentators know it, and you, sitting on your couch, know it. But the ultimate authority, they look at the tape and go, nope, onside. And the one piece of undeniable, absolute digital proof that could settle it right then and there, gone, completely vanished from the global broadcast.
Look, we're not just talking about your standard weekend referee blunder here. Bad calls happen, right? We're talking about the complete, spectacular absence of visual evidence on the biggest sporting stage on Earth. Today, in this explainer, we're tearing down exactly what went wrong when that standard, automated offside graphic just refused to show up and why it triggered an absolute epic meltdown.
Okay, let's dive into this specific sequence of events. Levi Stadium, Qatar versus Switzerland. Early on, Swiss attacker Remo Freuler gets absolutely clattered by the Qatari keeper Mahmoud Abu Dada. Was it a foul? Yeah, undeniably. But the build-up pass, Freuler looked miles offside. So we get this massive VAR delay. You know the drill, tension building, referees checking screens, and then the verdict drops. Onside, penalty given. Breel Embolo steps up, buries it, and we all sit back waiting for the broadcast to show us that definitive freeze frame.
Only the freeze frame never comes. Fans are watching the raw replays, and to the naked eye, it looks blatantly offside. Like not even close. But the official review gives it the green light. And that creates this massive, immediate disconnect. You've got millions of people trusting their own eyeballs, pitted directly against the faceless official ruling telling them they're wrong, without showing the receipts. In an era where we rely on tech for the absolute truth, taking away that visual proof, it makes fans feel completely gaslit.
So where was the line? You know the one I'm talking about, that highly calibrated graphic with the digital line snapped across the pitch that ends the argument in 2 seconds flat. It's standard across major European leagues. But viewers watching Fox in the US? Nothing. The British broadcast? Nothing. Spanish feeds? Absolutely nothing. The ultimate tech tool, designed specifically to give us absolute transparency, was just completely MIA at the exact moment we needed it most.
Naturally, the reaction was fierce. Social media just exploded. And the studio experts, they didn't hold back either. Gary Neville went live at halftime and dropped an absolute bombshell. He pointed out that the governing body controls both the host broadcast feeds and the semi-automated tech. By sitting on that visual proof, well, he actually compared it to, and this is a direct quote, like a dictatorship.
And he definitely wasn't on an island with that take. Ian Wright echoed the exact same frustration. He looked at the tape, said the attacker was clearly offside, and called the whole thing a literal scandal. Wright's argument was basically that officials are just sitting in these isolated, dark rooms doing whatever they want without any accountability to the fans. When the biggest voices in football start throwing around words like scandal and dictatorship on live TV, yeah, you know the narrative has completely spiraled out of control.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the agonizing timeline of silence that followed. Look at how this maps out. 0 hours. The penalty is given, but no graphic. For 2 full hours, global outrage just stews and peaks. Social media is an absolute Wild West of conspiracy theories. It wasn't until a full 3 hours later that a statement was finally released. 3 hours? In the modern digital age, that is an eternity. It is more than enough time for every single fan out there to convince themselves a massive cover-up is happening.
And when that explanation finally did drop, honestly, it felt incredibly convenient to a public that was already super skeptical. The official word was a technical glitch. They claimed a brief outage stopped the TV animation from generating. But, and here's the kicker, they insisted their internal review process worked perfectly fine. So their stance was basically, hey, the system that proves we're right broke for you, but it totally worked for us, so just trust that we made the right call.
But, we really can't look at this missing graphic in a vacuum. The reason nobody bought the whole technical glitch excuse is because of the crazy 72 hours that led up to it. This tournament had just suffered a massive systemic failure right from the jump. We're talking sky-high ticket prices locking out regular fans, sweeping stadium travel bans hitting 40 different countries, players and staff being detained at border checkpoints. I mean, even one of the tournament's own official referees was denied entry and sent packing before he could even officiate.
And then there's this jaw-dropping number, 67,966. That was the official announced attendance for this exact match at Levi Stadium. The problem, anyone with working eyes could see the stadium was maybe 3/4 full. Massive blocks of empty seats were just glaring on every single camera angle. Yet the officials tried to play it off as a near-capacity crowd, weakly claiming that, everyone was just standing out in the concourses getting snacks. Right.
Which brings us to the real tragedy of this entire mess.
Qatar actually fought back. They secured their first ever point in tournament history. That should have been a monumental, feel-good sporting story. Instead, it was completely swallowed by the noise. Look, when an organization spends 3 solid days destroying public trust with empty seats, travel chaos, and totally unbelievable attendance numbers, they lose the benefit of the doubt. Once trust erodes over 72 hours, even a 100% genuine technological mistake is going to be viewed through a lens of extreme suspicion.
So it's entirely possible the system really did just crash, and the offside call was spot on. But in major global sports, perception is reality. A simple glitch turns into a massive conspiracy the second trust is broken. So I gotta ask you, was this just an honest technical failure at the literal worst possible moment, or the climax of a deeply flawed administrative system? Drop your verdict in the comments down below. I read every single one. And make sure you hit that subscribe button for more of these deep dive explainers breaking down what's really happening behind the scenes of world football.